3 years ago, my father passed away. He left behind a small old house, but the land it sat on was incredibly valuable. Everyone in the family, all the neighbors, they just assumed my older brother, Rafiq, would be the one to inherit it and take charge. But after the funeral, my father had one last surprise for all of us. In his will, he left the house to me. Not to my brother, but to me. And you know what? I kept that a secret. Why? Because I knew my brother. Rafiq was always the greedy one. He had a long history of borrowing money from family and never returning a single cent. He even tried to claim a piece of our family's ancestral land once before. To him, our father wasn't a parent. He was a walking wallet. I knew, without a doubt, that if he discovered the house was legally mine, it would trigger a tidal wave of drama. So, I kept my mouth shut and tucked away the official documents somewhere safe. Fast forward to last year. I had to travel abroad for a work assignment that was going to last 6 months. It was a great opportunity, but it meant leaving everything behind for a while. While I was gone, my brother Rafiq started getting a little too comfortable. He began bragging to the neighbors, telling anyone who would listen, "This house will be mine one day. You'll see." He even went as far as telling people he was already making plans to sell it. It wasn't long before my phone rang. It was my aunt, and her voice was filled with concern. "You need to be careful," she warned me. "Your brother is up to something suspicious. He's talking about the house." I decided to confront him directly. I called him thousands of miles away and asked him what he was doing. He just laughed, a cold, dismissive laugh. "You're all the way over there," he sneered. "What are you going to do about it? The house is in our family's name anyway." But he was wrong. It wasn't in the family name. It was in my name and my name alone. Still, I chose to stay calm. I didn't want to show my hand just yet. About a month later, things escalated. I got a frantic message from my cousin. "Rafiq is bringing potential buyers to look at the house. It's really trying to sell your father's house." He sent me photos as proof, and my heart sank. There they were, real estate agents walking through the yard, strangers touring the inside, and my brother, Rafiq, pointing out features in each room as if he owned the place. The audacity was breathtaking. That was it. I couldn't wait any longer. I immediately booked the next flight home without telling a single soul I was coming. The moment I landed, I went straight to the house. I walked in, and the scene was exactly as my cousin had described. My brother was in the middle of giving a tour to an interested couple. The moment he saw me, he froze. His face went pale. The buyers looked from him to me, completely confused. He tried to recover, to put on a brave face. He puffed out his chest and said, "This is my family's house, a fine property. We can certainly discuss the price. ... Double quotes, that was my cue. I reached into my bag, pulled out the folder I had guarded so carefully, and laid the official documents on the living room table. The title deed, the land registration papers, all of it, clear as day. My name, my signature, the official government seal. The buyer's eyes widened. They looked at the papers, then turned to my brother, their expressions shifting from interest to pure disbelief. One of them finally said, "You tried to sell a house you don't even own." Rafiq just stood there, stuttering. Sweat started beading on his forehead. He couldn't form a single word. Without another glance in his direction, the buyers picked up their things and walked out the door. The second the door closed, the explosion I had been expecting finally happened. He started screaming at me, his voice cracking with rage. "Father would have wanted me to have it. It should be mine." I looked him dead in the eye and said calmly, "Father knew exactly who you are, Rafiq. That's why he didn't leave it to you. That sent him over the edge." He grabbed a nearby chair and threw it across the room, shattering a window. He lunged at me, trying to rip the papers from my hands. I had no choice. I pulled out my phone and called the police. He was arrested right there in our father's living room for trespassing and attempted fraud. After he was released, he ran a smear campaign against me, telling all our relatives that I had ruined his life, that I was the greedy one. But then, the real twist happened. His own wife left him. Why? She had discovered that while trying to sell my house, he had also secretly tried to sell her gold and family jewelry to pay off his mounting debts. That was the final straw for her. He lost his wife, his family's respect, and any shred of dignity he had left. Now he lives alone in a small rented room, working odd-day labor jobs just to get by. As for me, I took the time and money to renovate my father's old house. I planted a beautiful flower garden out front, just like he always wanted. And inside, in the main hallway, I hung a large, framed photo of him. My brother tried to steal my inheritance, my father's legacy. But in the end, the only person he managed to destroy was himself. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It's been a difficult journey, but a necessary one. If you found this story compelling, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content. It really helps a lot. See you in the next one.